Hey folks. Hey, just wanted to do kind of a short video. Nothing too crazy, nothing too long. Excuse me while I adjust the cable there. But I wanted to do this video because this is one of the bills that kind of has my interest peaked. And oh, that's weird. Oh, something's messing up on me. Yay. Let me get my YouTube back up. There we go. But anyway, I there's a bill. Let's see, what is it? Let me get the correct bill number, which I've got down in the video description. House Bill 168. This basically eliminates a certificate of need programs in Missouri. So a certificate of need program, it was supposed to, of course, when government gets involved, they're going to say, well, it reins in costs and uh, allows more access to for poor people to health care. I know, John. I'm a little early tonight. I got a wild hair, was ready to go, and I said, screw it, I'm doing it. So Doug and Maya are in the house. Good to see both of you. But so it was supposed to rein in costs, and it was supposed to, make healthcare better for the people of the state. Well, that's not working out very well. And let me pull up this website here for you real quick. It's right down here. It says, let's see. I'm trying to find exactly where, but I'm lost. Please excuse me. So Missouri enacted its first certificate of need program in 1980. By 1982, every state except Louisiana had some form of a certificate of need program. In 87, the federal government repealed its certificate of need program mandate when the ineffectiveness of con regulations as a cost control measure became clear. 12 states followed suit. Missouri is still doing this. Let me see here. So, if you look down, it says there are, however, serious consequences for continuing to enforce these con regulations. In particular, for Missouri, these programs could mean approximately 7,943 fewer hospital beds, between 12 and 24 fewer hospitals offering MRI services, and between 41 and 52 fewer hospitals offering computed tomography, CT scans. So this means less competition and fewer choices without increased access to care for the poor. So everything they said is wrong. So it's ignorant. Let me turn that back off. There we go. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. If you guys are getting buffering, I'm sorry. I don't know what the problem is here. It's telling me it's not getting something or other, but it looks good on my end. So screw it. But anyway, so this bill, let me pull it up here. Bookmarks. There we go. I'll let you see this. This is House Bill 168. It was introduced by Representative Brian Seitz, and it is looking to just eliminate the certificate of need thing all the way around. Just get it gone and be done with it. And I would assume that the agenda here is to open up the healthcare industry to as much as we can get the free market, so that excuse me. You, in essence, this is how it works. If you want to expand your hospital, if you want to build a new hospital, if you want to expand services, you have to go in front of a board in the state, and they can accept or deny your proposal. And so and that limits the amount of hospital beds, MRIs, CT scans, everything that can be done. And poor people aren't getting the health insurance or the health care that they were promised with the certificate of need programs. So looks like Representative Seitz is trying to end a certificate of need. Now, do I put my full faith and trust in the medical industry? No, I don't. Okay? Let me say that first and foremost. I do not put my faith in the medical industry, especially after things like COVID and other things. I don't really trust them per se. Now, trauma care, things like that, yeah, they're kind of a necessity. But for a lot of care, no. Now, it would be nice if people could have the choice, and you had access to more hospitals, more clinics, more of the MRIs and CT scans, and the cost of everything went down. That's beneficial because let's look at it. Now, I'm not saying this would happen, but it could. This is a possible outcome. If the cost of healthcare would lower in the state, let's say for anything, because you had more hospitals, more clinics, more testing, facilities, all these things would open up to the free market, and the free market would decide who wins and who loses, right? As it should be and has, should have always been without government interference. But let's say this passed and healthcare costs went down, okay? The cost of an MRI went down. The cost of a CT scan went down. Now, technically, if government wasn't involved in healthcare or in insurance, if this was a free market type of thing, your insurance would go down because the cost of all the services would go down. But since government has its greedy hands in it, there's no guarantee that the prices would go down. But at least if let's say you had some kind of traumatic thing, a stroke, heart attack, cancer, any of these things, and you had to use a facility like this, that what insurance wouldn't cover, you would have to pay less. Okay? And that's cool. Again, you'd get to have the choice of how you wanted to handle it, and you'd have, choices of more hospitals, things of this nature. And anytime, and yeah, what Doug says, there's no profit in making people healthy. That is true. That is very true. Hence the pharmaceutical industry that we have now. The what would you call it? The pharmaceutical industry, the lobbying power they have, the ability to make vaccines, quote unquote, and then having the government buy, millions upon millions of doses, and then raking in billions of dollars. Well, that must be nice. So you guess you call it the pharmaceutical industrial complex. That's the words I was trying to come up with. But anytime you see a bill where somebody wants to cut government out of it completely, no board, none of this crap, you want to build a hospital, now they may have to seek permission from whatever city they want to put it in or any of those things, but it's still getting a part of government out of an industry. And when government gets out of the way, people win, right? The people win. Regardless if you're going to use that care or not, sometimes you don't have a choice, right? But still, people have the choice to use what they want. That's the free market at play. Also, the cost of the care could go down significantly. Yeah, we don't know that it could be significant. It could be, just a slight drop. It doesn't matter. If people are saving money because the free market is making the rules, yay. Yay us. Yay all of us, right? Woohoo, we're all winners. Yay. I don't know. This seems like a no-brainer to me. So I'm going to try to get in contact with Representative Seitz' office and see what he has to say about it, get his thoughts on it, and because I know that in the Missouri Freedom Initiative, they kind of pick the bills they're going to back this session, but I know that some of the folks, pick another bill to kind of work on or work with that representative. So I figured, what the heck? I think it was on my old podcast. I went into this subject significantly because John Stossel had a video out, and he covered this topic too. I believe it was Tennessee. A couple wanted to open up an ambulance service, and the city or county or whatever said, "Oh, we don't need it. Certificate of need, and you gotta basically grovel at the feet of all these other people to put in your ambulance service." And that might not be Tennessee. I just know a couple wanted to start their own ambulance service, and they were basically said, "Whoa, you've got to go through all this hullabaloo in order to do it." So it's more than just licensing with this. Sure, you're going to have all your licensure and certifications and what have you, but you also have to grovel at the feet of a government board in order to, again, expand a hospital, build a new site, all these things, add a new hospital, all these things, an MRI. Who would have thought that you would want to limit MRI machines and CT machines? That unless your hospital conglomerate or some big, you got multiple hospitals in the state or whatever, and you want to eliminate the competition. So what you do is you help write these certificate of need laws, and then you don't have to worry about competition. Well, if this bill would go through, pass through the assembly to the governor's desk, and he would sign it, that goes out the window. That's the way I'm looking at it, okay? And that opens up health care in Missouri to the free market. And again, some of us may not look or may not particularly like the way the medical industry is running right now, and I completely understand that, and I am with you 100%. But there are people who will need trauma care. There are people, emergency care, and they may have to go to the hospital. I would assume that if they have to do that, if they have to go that route, then they would be able to get that care at a lower cost and without so much government interference. That's the way I look at it. Even though it's an industry we may not like, we may really have some hatred towards, if government's not entangled in that and you get some government out of the way, maybe some of that goes away because they don't have people on a board looking out for their best interests, and I'm talking financially. So that's a possibility, right? But anyway, so yeah, the bill number and a link to the bill language is in the description of the video. You can look it up yourself. But like I said, no state that has a CON is seeing costs being, lowered and more access for health care for the poor. They're not seeing that stuff. What you're seeing is fewer beds, fewer CT machines, fewer MRI machines, things of that nature. You're seeing less of those things. So government, creating a program to lower cost, it's that we talk about this all the time. It doesn't work because you add bureaucracy, you add cost. You got to create these jobs for these has-beens who sit on a board and make decisions, make nice fat profits, and a lot of the money, that money or that effect doesn't trickle down to the actual hospitals and care because it's being sucked up by government. Now, sure, they might be doling out money to the hospitals, but it's not causing prices to go down. because government is subsidizing it. When government subsidizes something, then the cost increases. So you know, that's just the way it is. That's government's nature is when it tries to take over something, or you have to ask permission to um, do whatever, then the price just automatic. You just know the price is going to go up. If government is going to get more involved or get involved in general, automatically prices are going to increase because there's going to be subsidies. Taxpayer money is going to be thrown into the mix, and every time they print the money, then devalues the currency, and we get inflation. So the cost, the savings isn't going to be there. Plain and simple. How long have I been going here? I can't tell. 11 minutes. Oh, wait, that's average. 15 and a half minutes. I didn't want to go too long. I just wanted to do this short thing. If people see it and it's something that they, maybe call Representative Seitz and office and find out more information, I definitely will be doing that. I will be trying to get in contact with him or his office at least and find out the intent, all the intent behind the bill. Because that's the way it looks to me. Again, I could be wrong because I'm not the best at reading this language. But it's like the previous CON, and it's just crap is redacted like mad. It 3/4 of that, all that stuff is just marked out. So it looks like he's trying to repeal the whole thing. And again, if you're going to repeal something and get government out of the way, I don't see where people can go, well, that's going to cause problems. If you have more than two brain cells to rub together, and you know that sorry, I just got a text from Gary Ride. I have to read that in a second. But if you're going to eliminate government, and you got more than two brain cells to rub together, there's no way that you can say that government makes things cheaper, makes the cost cheaper. So there is that. Yeah, like Doug says, not something we use, but I'd help make phone calls and write emails. Less government, the better, in my opinion. Absolutely. John Doe is correct. That is true. So, again, I leave it up to you. I am not in charge of the Missouri Freedom Initiative or any of those things. I just thought I would highlight this bill. And as I see some of these bills come through, I'm not going to push for people to be making phone calls because, again, you guys have got your work that you're going to be doing, and I will not be in charge of telling you to take your focus off something and focus on something else. I'm not going to do that, okay? I am just the measly podcast host. I am no one important. I just do a podcast and I do interviews. And speaking of that, I got to look at my planner real quick because I have to check things out, folks. I'm telling you what, I have so many interviews. I think I have March. I have February filled up. Okay, I'm missing some stuff here. Oh boy, I didn't write them all down like the goofball that I am. I guess I put them in my phone. February's filled, and then I know I'll have Cherie Tolson Reich, Maisie Boyd, Tony Lavasco, all in March. And, towards the end of February, was it the 24th, I will have Bill Eigels L.A. come on and do a show with me. How awesome is that? So, everything's looking pretty good. I am really bad because I have somebody down for the 17th of this month, and I didn't write it down. So now I have to go through and look who I have down on the 17th of February for all my interviews. You know what? I'm going to read you Gary's text. I don't think he would I think it went really well at the Capitol Day with the SB 100 gold and silver bill. We had some good speakers for the bill and no opposition. Michelle Latham was there, and her husband spoke to the Senate for the bill also. Even a young 10-year-old boy spoke, and the little rascal knocked it out of the park. He did a good lord. He did amazing. All the senators were thoroughly impressed with him. I think it went very good today. Looks like about a week before it comes to a vote, we will see. So good news on SB 100. And thank you, Gary, for the update. He texted me this morning, and I texted him back and said, "Hey, good luck. Good luck at the Capitol today." But anyway, that's going to do it, folks. Again, I didn't want to be too long. I just wanted to do a short video. These may pop up again as if I see legislation that really fascinates me or piques my interest. I will, I'll give the link out in the video description and all that fun stuff, and I will, try to enlighten you on it, and then everybody can make up their mind if they want to make a phone call or whatever. That's again, I'm just a measly podcast host. Patrick and some of you all are freaking superstars, and I do interviews because that's what I'm good at, somewhat. But anyway, thanks everybody for joining in. BH, John Doe, Wilderness Gal. Glad to see that you were in the live stream tonight in the chat. Appreciate that very much. And I will see you all Friday night. I will have Darren Chappell, who's a newly elected state rep. Comes highly recommended from Tom Martz. So if Tom's recommending a state rep to interview, I'm going to take Tom's word for it. That's just, I trust Tom. Tom knows his stuff, and if he's saying this guy's constitutional, I'm taking Tom's word for it. That's just how I look at it. So anyway, again, thanks, folks, for joining me for a very short 22 minutes. Not bad. Little live stream here, and again, feel free to check out the bill. Feel free. Again, I'm going to try to call Representative Seitz' office tomorrow and see if I can get in touch with somebody and talk to them a few minutes about it. But anyway, with that, have a great evening, and we'll see you